Hello everybody, good afternoon, and this is Tankcast, and I'm going to be giving you a game between myself and Barballs. And this was a game that I played in a tournament called the Newegg Wanfest tournament. Newegg is a very popular online retailer, and they have a tournament that they call Wanfest. And so I decided to enter, and I'm going to be posting a couple videos, both from this tournament as well as one other that I played during August. I have the replays here, and so I'm going to just be showing you guys my short little foray into online tournament gameplay. So this first game, this tournament had 512 players to begin with, or a 512 player bracket. In my first round, the round of 512, I had a bye because I didn't quite have 512 people. For 256, I won by default. My opponent did not show up. So this game right here is the round of 128, and I'm playing this Terran player who is red on the other side of Scrap Station, and here I am as the teal Zerg player on the top. And this was my map choice. I very much enjoy Scrap Station, especially against Terran. It can be pretty easy to secure your expansion with these destructible rocks, and it's easy for me to harass between the main and the expansion. But anyway, we'll see how this game goes out, and well, I hope you will enjoy. First things first, I'm getting my spawning pool, my gas, and then my spawning pool, which is a good strategy, especially when Terran might go Reapers really early on. You're going to need to have either roaches or really fast Zergling speed to counter that. So for the moment, I'm right now saturating my extractor and then getting more drones. Over here in Barball's base, he's getting his barracks, probably around 13, as well as an early refinery. Not too early, so he'll probably get a marine up, and then he'll be able to get a tech lab and get a Reaper or Marauder, for whichever one he chooses. And I do see this with my Overlord just as he sees my base with that SCV. So over here, I'm now getting another Overlord as well as my first Zerglings. You can look on the production tab here. He has his orbital command, and I have my first two Zerglings coming out. Now, in the Zerg vs. Terran matchup, what I have personally found is, well, what is true, really, is that the Terran have very, very, very competent early game harassment potential, whether with Reapers or with early Hellions. And if they can get really successfully harassed by destroying a whole bunch of drones or by denying you the expansion you want to take, they'll have a huge advantage for the later game. And here I am taking my hatchery at what looked like 16 food. So I like to get my spawning pool early just in case I'm going to be confronting any Reaper or Hellion harass really early on. But it looks like he's not going to be doing that. He's going to be getting his reactor on a barracks and getting a third barracks, so going a very bio-heavy build. And I'm going to get a spine crawler, which is really useful, again, to prevent any harass. You can build it here and walk it over in between your expansion and your main to defend Hellions or Reapers. And then I have my Zergling over here. I just want to poke up and see what I can see in his base. And I notice he has a reactor here, nothing on this barrack, so I'm not too afraid at this point of any harass like the Reapers that I was talking about before. So I am getting my queen now. I'm getting two queens, or just one. Scratch that. I'll get one queen for this base. I'll probably train a queen up here. And if you look at the income, right now I have significantly more drones. I have a lot higher income. Once my expansion comes up, I can transfer drones to my expansion and get an even higher income. However, army-wise, he does pose more of a threat to me. He's getting an engineering bay for upgrades, and he has a lot of Marines already out, and even more Marines on the way. And so right now he does have two gas, but he's really only mining off of one, which is okay since he's going a very marine-heavy build. Now again, Zerglings going against Zerg, going a lot of marine can be effective, but then Banelings completely demolish just Marines. So Marine Marauder is a very effective combo, as you will often see in Zerg vs. Terran or any Terran games. So here I am. I'm keeping my Zerglings in between my two bases, so he can't attack me very well. I'm trying to spread the creep, which is important if I need to move my queens back and forth. And right now I'm just getting a lot of Zerglings. just so I have some sort of army if he does decide to attack. And here we can see he is attacking these destructible rocks, and actually I believe I can see it. I play with the health bars always on, and with this Overlord, it'll actually show me the health bar of this destructible rock getting hurt, so I can see that he is trying to get to my destructible rocks. So I know that's coming, and I keep on getting my Zerglings out, and I know he's going really heavy Marine, so I need to get my Baneling's Nest out. And I have my lair, which will allow me to get the Spire, which is the other thing, which I do very much like in Zerg vs. Terran games, to really abuse the mobility of the Terran army. So right there, I sacked my Overlord. I want to see what he had, and again, it confirmed my suspicion that he had a lot of Marines, which is why I went to get the Banelings. Back in his bake, he's getting some missile turrets, which is a fine precautionary motion, especially if you're going to leave your base with your main army. It'll prevent me from getting too much scouting information, or if I eventually do come with Mutalisks, that is also very beneficial to him. And here he is now breaking down these destructible rocks. And I'm not quite sure, but I do check, and I can see that he is now hitting these destructible rocks, and I have all my Zerglings back here, and now I'm morphing my Banelings. So if you look in the army counter, you can see my army appears to be much smaller, but will go up once I get my Banelings. And he has so many Marines. These Marines are so very fragile to these Banelings, which can two-shot the Marines with huge AoE damage. So here he is, he's pushing forward. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and separate my Banelings from my main Zergling army, so if he tries to move in, I can hit him on one side and come behind to hit the Marines instead of the Marauders, which can soak up quite a bit of Baneling damage. And now, since my income has been perpetually higher than his, I even have a bigger army, though he is now getting his command center expansion, and we'll be able to even that up shortly if I am unable to do any damage. So I have my Banelings up top, my Zerglings on the side, and here he comes moving in. I get to the bottom of my Zerglings, I surround him, my Banelings are coming in, and I kill so many Marines lost in that fight. I try to finish it up with my Zerglings, and here come more Banelings, and he is forced to flee. These Banelings can just deal so much damage to the Marines, and even to the Marauders, that there's nothing he can do until at least he has Stim, which he does not have. With Stim, you can like kite the Banelings. Attack and move back, so that the Banelings won't be able to splash on you. I want to see what I can do with my Zerglings, but I do not have a big enough force anymore. Because of the way Banelings work, you do lose your Banelings when you attack with them. But I did push that attack back. I still have a higher income, so I'll be able to build a bigger army as time progresses. And I'm saving up my minerals and my gas for my Spire to be completed, so I can come out with a whole bunch of Mutalisks and hit him from the back in just a second. Meanwhile, Barbell's over here. He just got his expansion up. Probably should be transferring some SCVs, but first off, he's going to get bunkers to secure his front, so I cannot run through nearly as easily with all my Zerglings. And here I am trying to spread the creep with my creep tubers. That is very helpful, especially with Banelings, which really need to be constantly mobile to deal enough damage, and are just far superior on creep than they are off creep. Meanwhile, he does have the Zelnog Watchtower. I'm going to take that site, and over here you can see he has a couple Reapers just scouting ahead to make sure I'm not going to come up with any sort of aggression down there. So what I'm trying to do is come around, knowing that he's probably trying to secure that ramp area. And here's Reapers jump onto the high ground, get a couple pop shots off of my Zerglings, but I can run back. It's not too big of a deal. While there's more motion up here with his Marines pushing towards my base, just at least so he can see what I'm doing. Also, I'm sneaking this gold hatchery down here. Another expansion never hurts, especially if you know you have some sort of military advantage, some sort of map control. That's the perfect time to get an expansion. That being said, I don't have too much of a military advantage, though these Mutalisks behind his base are keeping him sort of confined and preventing him from really moving out too far. He has to keep his army within his base and can't really attack me, leaving me the ability to get this expansion. All these bunkers too are filled up in the front, so his army is really not insignificant at all. but I do have a lot of Zerglings, good amount of Banelings, and a potential for quite a lot of Mutalisk harass now as I keep on pumping out Mutalisks. And as you can see, my Harvester count is very much higher than him. I have 1,200 income compared to his 800. Back here, he's now getting 2 factories, which is a good transition. He has a lot of built-up minerals. He should be producing some Marines here, but it's nice that he's getting something new, factories, perhaps to go to siege tanks, or even go to Thors to try and counter my Mutalisks even better. I'm coming back for one more attack. I now have a lot of Mutalisks. I'm getting Iron Cribs. I'm not getting any of the upgrades, but I'm getting an Infestation Pit, primarily to be able to tech up to Tier 3. However, I'm coming back with my Mutalisks. There are a lot of missile turrets, but I just have too many Mutalisks for him to deal with, so I can focus those down. And that would force him to probably bring his army up soon if he has not yet. But I'm going to take out all his SCVs here, and one more missile turret, not a problem for my Mutalisks. Also, back here he does have 2 Reapers, and he might soon move into this hatchery and deal a lot of damage, similarly to how I have just dealt a lot of damage to his mining base here. He has the potential to attack my expansion in the corner. So right now I would say that I have a significant advantage, seeing as I had just destroyed most of his workers. You can see this comparison. I have 40 compared to his 16, and just a substantially higher income, and also my army count. But he still has a decent defense here with these bunkers. They can take a lot of damage, and all the Marines inside are really quite effective. Also, for those of you who don't know, you can stim. You can use the stim pack ability for Marines and Marauders who are inside bunkers, and that is very effective. If you did not know that, you probably should use that. Take a look at the production tab. I am trying to get my upgrades here, and I'm also getting Hive, probably to get Ultralisks, just so I can break through this bunker wall off even easier. He did come in just now with those Reapers, as you missed, and destroyed quite a bit of drones before I came down with some Zerglings and finished them off. So I'm going to get some Spine Crawlers down here to make sure it doesn't happen again. His expansion is now saturated, but I do have more Mutalisks gathering up in the top and coming down to attack. With the factories, he's now getting a reactor and a tech lab. And I'm trying to keep these overlords placed in between here to make sure nothing, no sort of drops or anything is happening. And I'm just going to pick up some supply depots, try to do what sort of damage I can do without overcommitting myself, without getting too far into his base and losing too many of my Mutalisks. Because I know he doesn't want to move too many guys off the front, otherwise he may leave himself exposed to my main army of Zerglings and Banelings over here. And I do know he has an expansion, so I'm going to come in here, and although there are a lot of Mutalisks, there are also quite a bit of Marines and missile turrets, so I can't commit there. So I believe this is my chance. I see his armies over here. It's away from his front, so I move in with all these Zerglings. Look at these Zerglings. There are 89 Zerglings. Alright, so they're surrounding. They got a very good surround on these Reapers. Now they're going to hit away on the bunkers. The Banelings are trying to get in and splash on the Marines and the Reapers. Can they? There we go. Look at all the damage done. 10, 15 units instantly destroyed by those Banelings. And there's Barballs. That's the GG. So this was the first game in this tournament that I played in the round of 128, and I will give you the second game shortly. Thank you for watching.